Hey everyone, when I was a kid, I used to watch a show called The Max on MTV. It was based on a comic book of the same title, and I didn't read the comic, but I did catch the entirety of the show, and I kept coming back to it because even though it had a pretty convoluted plot, it was character-driven, and it did a very good job at explaining the motivations of the characters and how it was tied to specific episodes that happened to them in their youth. A character I wanted to talk about today is Julie, pictured here, who, as an adult, becomes a social worker, and a lot of that can be understood by looking at a story that happens to her as a kid. When she's a kid, she encounters a rabbit that's hit by a car, and it's mortally wounded, but she doesn't understand that because she's a kid, and she wanted to help it, so she takes it home, puts it in a cardboard box, and leaves it under her bed, thinking that somehow that'll make it get better. And it ends up, of course, not working out, and the rabbit is scratching away at the box and making horrific sounds, keeping her and her family up at night. And even though Julie can't let go, her mom eventually gets fed up with it and comes downstairs with a shovel and beats it to death. And that ended up scarring her and kind of turned her into a person that's constantly searching for ways to fix and help people. And of course, that doesn't work out in the real world. But I wanted to talk about this because this is similar to movies by, say, like Ari Aster, who has made movies that are kind of going to resonate with you based on a few visceral images or stories, but not really the entirety of the plot. And this really stuck with me as a kid, this small story within the story. And I'm seeing this kind of behavior mirrored in how we approach the metal genre here. So what I'm seeing here is we older people that have grown up with metal and knew what it was have now seen it be in a mortally wounded state. And we know that it is dead, has been dead for a long time, but younger kids are coming across it in the road mortally wounded, and they want to fix it. They want to help it. They want to increase their own social worth by being the person to take it to the next level and use it as a vessel to provide them some kind of instrumentation. And we know as adults this isn't going to work out. But still, young kids are going to take this dying genre, stick it under their bed, and have it fester there. And they're going to try to make something out of it, but it ends up just being something that is a lost cause, because you can't breathe life into something that's been mortally wounded or is dead. And it's going to take adults to really just kind of put the nails in the coffin here, because the problem with youth is they don't understand the gravity of situations, and they think everything can be fixed, when in reality nothing can. And I think it's really going to take us older people to try to combat the influx of all this terrible metal that's coming and beat it to death with a fucking shovel. You know, obviously we can't take to violence to make it happen, but the more things keep getting produced in this medium, and it betrays the tenets of what actually metal should be, the more we're going to get farther removed from it. And we're already seeing it now. People are labeling things death metal that really are not even close to what the genre represents. And I don't know how we can combat it, but I do know that it's not worth it to even have older people try to contribute anything more in the genre, myself included. I know that the statements made within the genre that have the most weight to it, the most validity to it, have all been said, and they're not going to be said any better. So there's nothing that we can do, even as older people that love the genre, to advance it, because advancing it would cause it to mutate into something that it really isn't anymore, which is what you're seeing now. So we have to find some way to beat it to death with a shovel. And I don't know how we can do it, whether or not we can do what I'm doing and showcase why it's terrible, if we can all try to give ourselves a voice to really drive the nails into the coffin of it. But I think that it's going to take a lot of people to showcase why everything that's coming through the airwaves now is so spiritually empty. And it's empty because the people that make it are empty. And they're going to come at it from that youthful perspective that it can be fixed because they have a big heart and they can make something great out of it. But it takes adulthood to know how much you don't matter and how much you can't bring anything to life that's been dead for a long time. So that's why I'm going to keep doing what I do, because I want to showcase to people that there once was something that was valid within this genre. And I know that it has been dead for a long time, and I think a lot of people need to come forward that have the same mindset as me, that understand what metal is, and show that it really needs to be dead. It needs to be dead, and we need to do something else. The people that are like-minded as myself should look to another medium to express the tenets of what metal is. And I'm trying to do that myself with what I'm doing on the side. But what is masquerading as metal right now is a far cry from what it used to be. And because it has long been festering under someone's bed, needing to be killed, I think we need to be the ones to finally push it over the edge. Thanks.